Dedicated to the great outdoors, it's Southern Woods and Waters with Hugh McNaughton. Southern Woods and Waters is brought to you by Gander Mountain, Greenform Construction, the Burns Insurance Group, Cunningham Buick GMC, Nashville Marine, America's Motorsports, and now here's Hugh.
All right, welcome everyone to this Thursday night's edition of Southern Woods and Waters, and we've got another great show lined out for you tonight. I have my good friend, best friend in the whole wide world I've ever had, right here in studio with me, and that is Bobby Cothran. Bobby, thank you so much for being on the show, buddy.
Good to see you again,
Good to see you too, Bobby. Now, Bobby, we're going to be talking tonight about how guys, I mean, we got archery seasons right around the corner for Tennessee.
It's approaching this fast, so everybody's got to get their setups going right now.
And they better get them together pretty quick.
Absolutely.
Now, Kentucky starts here in the next couple, 2-3 weeks. Then Tennessee's going to be 2 weeks after. I think it's, what, 6 or 7 weeks out still?
6 weeks and
a few days, just a couple of days. But yeah, we're going to try and get you ready for that archery season, and that's it is one of the most important parts. I believe that the bow hunting season is probably your best bet at getting that big old buck, because right now they don't expect you being out there.
Yeah, well, it's easier now to hunt the pattern.
That's
you
it.
pattern them a whole lot better with the food sources.
Get those trail cameras out there, the food plots.
They start dissipating. Off, so.
And plus, you going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all the time. You're telling them when you're coming in there. So usually your first week or is probably a bow season is probably your best time to get that old weary buck.
It is.
And other than that, your next time would be the rut, I think, is probably your best.
Well, that's when you get into gun season, so you increase your odds.
You increase your odds.
If you're not a seasoned bow hunter, you do,
that's
of
right.
course. Yeah.
So we're going to help you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby and I are going to help you tonight, get you prepared for the upcoming archery season. And it's not as difficult as it might sound. There's a lot of people out there that want to do this or that or this or that. A lot of that stuff you can just...
There's a lot of stuff you can do at home. You know, we're going to show you some basic setups with your bows, from stabilizers to sight to, you know, how to fine tune it. That's right. That's really important, especially on your archery equipment.
Plus, you got a trick. You're going to show them how to sight one in. That's really, really easy.
Well, I'm going to show them how to get their left and rights and up and down easy. So a whole lot easier. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Instead of hitting and trying to shoot a big target like a 4-inch or 5-inch square, you really need to hone your stuff down even more, and this is where I think it takes practice. First off, you got to build some muscles. You got to build some muscles.
I shoot tournaments, and of course, you know, you used to shoot them. You know, we shoot 40, 50 arrows a day, and I'm not talking about just shooting arrows. I'm talking about really making good shots. You know, so you keep your muscles built up, and right now you're at a time where if you don't build them up, you'll have a lot of movement in your stand. You know, you don't want to be a big motion trying to draw back, pull back too much weight. And there's a lot of little scenarios that you want to cut down on your movement with a bow, because it's sort of hard right now anyway to get up close to a mature buck. So,
Bobby, I want to ask you right up front, because in the next segment we're going to go through the bow, but right up front, what are some things that you've noticed that people are doing that they're having problems with, that's causing them a lot of difficulty in being able to hunt and being successful?
As far as archery hunting?
As far as archery hunting.
Well, archery hunting, you know, it begins with the setup. You know, they start out, a lot of guys think you have to pull 70 pounds, and that's not the case in today's world with the new technology.
That's right.
Their draw length is not correct, which any pro shop would help set that up for you. Even once they start sighting their bows in, if you don't do it the easy way, you know, you'll start getting a lot of left and rights, and we can go through that procedure, how to get that out of it, you know.
That's right.
But that's a lot of things involved, and people try to overcompensate how much weight to pull. And with your arrow makeup and your broadheads nowadays, you can reduce everything and make it enjoyable to hunt and to shoot a bow. You know.
What poundage do you shoot?
Tournaments, I shoot 57 pounds.
Right.
We got a speed limit, and I'm shooting right at 290 foot a second. So how fast do you want to shoot when you hunt?
Yeah,
you know, and the shorter bows are even faster. Now the bow I shoot's a little bit longer than this bow, so it's a little bit slower. But I can pull, I don't know, probably 55 pounds with this bow and maintain 300 foot a second.
That's fast.
100 grain broadhead. So
that's fast.
Oh yeah, it's gonna do a great shot no matter what you do. You'll be able to recover your animal, especially make good shot placement.
So do you think that people make mistakes by overdoing their bows?
They do, because if you're not careful on that weight set up on a bow, you know, when you draw back trying to hold, you know, sometimes you have to wait for the shot.
Yeah.
So, you know, you want to
be up there for a couple of minutes.
You want to be comfortable when that does. You want to try to, you know, break your shot down where you can hold, because you don't want too much movement unless the deer turns.
That's right.
So you got to be able to sort of hold it, then regroup and re-anchor again, because it'll cause a bad shot, and you could wound the animal and not do a recovery on it. So
the loop on the string is probably one of the better things I've seen. It allows for a lot of forgiveness.
It takes out a lot of the torque in the bow.
That's right.
You know, used to it, people would shoot off the string, and I think for the past several years, you know, the loop is just, you don't see anybody shooting without a loop nowadays.
No, it's revolutionized.
It has.
So we're trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, things that you need to be concentrating. If you're just going out and you're buying a bow and you're trying to get ready for archery season, you need to be taking notes, because we're gonna help you out on this one. The loop, I think, is very important. I still think the peep sight is important.
It is.
It's another anchor point.
You've got several anchor points. You know, most of it is where you are in your jawbone and where your nose is on the string.
I always put my nose on the string.
You take your scope of your bow. You want, you know, the insides of your peep sight. That way you can center up your hoe shot when you're making your movement. Pins in a sight. We can talk about that in a little bit, about the complete setup, and those are just a few of the things. The stabilizers are really what's really changed the game in archery the past couple of years, you know.
And how so, Bobby?
Well, you know, take this bow, we'll go over a few things here in a minute. You know, back several years ago, everybody thought, you know, a 6-inch stabilizer was the way to go because you wanted movement. Well, you know, a lot of people think, well, now we got our arrow hanging that over our bow.
Yeah.
So let's get our stabilizer out there, and that gives us a little bit more balance.
That's right.
And you also, in your sight picture, once you make that shot, you know, you've got a level in your sight. You want to abide by that level at all times to keep down left and rights. It's just a shot sequence that you work on in your backyard, and it just makes you a successful hunter, period.
You and I have always said practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Absolutely.
And if you're practicing bad habits, ladies and gentlemen, then you will always do the bad habits.
You'll carry it into the woods.
You'll carry it into the woods with you, and then you'll come out crying because you missed him.
Well, you know, bow hunting is it's not all about versus a gun, you know.
Right.
You know, with an archery, it's all about shot placement. You got to make that good shot. You got to be comfortable making that shot. You got to know your distance. You know, all these things add up. But once you practice that scenario, you know, in your backyard, you'll have a great day. You know, you'll have a successful hunt as well.
Bobby, you know, I've been involved in bow hunter education for quite a few years. We always try to tell our students, you know, nothing more than 40 yards in the field, nothing more than 30 yards in the woods.
Absolutely.
But with today's technology, if a guy practices, or girl practices enough that they can get really proficient, these are actually really accurate weapons. I mean, they are really accurate if you do everything right.
They are. If you practice, you know, it just goes back to what you was talking about earlier. You know, if you make that good practice session work, you know, you can take a shot out to 60 yards and feel comfortable doing it.
That's right.
Because it's the same shot process. So you're right. You know, the new technology of the speed of the bows, the forgiveness of the bows, the way the arrows are built, the stabilization, the sights, everything's different. It allows you to go on out 60 and 70 yards. You know, I feel comfortable shooting at 70 yards with the deer. Of course, now I use a rangefinder. Of course, in tournaments we're not allowed them, but you know, that really helps to throw up know how far they are.
In the woods, you can use them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can cheat.
You know, I know some great archers, probably the best in the country, you know, and they judge yardage every day of the best in the country, but they will not walk in the woods without a rangefinder.
I won't.
No, it's no sense in it. Absolutely.
Because the rack, the size of the animal is different than what a 3D target looks like, and it can be.
Plus
you can have a 185-pound buck versus a 120-pound buck.
True.
He can throw you off 5 or 6 yards.
You also got your terrain difference.
That's right.
You're shooting from elevated position, so there's a lot of things, to really consider, to make a good shot, and that's what it's all about.
Well, we're gonna go right now, and I want to talk to you about our Facebook page. Please check us out at Southern Woods and Waters Facebook page. Like us, share us, put some comments on there. We'd love to hear from you and learn, and love to hear what you got going on. Send your pictures. You can send us pictures. We'd love to have those on the show also. But check us out at Facebook at Southern Woods and Waters. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to visit some of our fine sponsors that help make this show available to you each and every week. We'll be right back with more Southern Woods and Waters.